I'm always a sucker for series that are filled with lore, so when I started watching Overlord, I honestly did not expect to fall in love with the world and characters. That's why I hope to start doing more explanation videos on Overlord similar to what I'm doing for Tensura. And to start us off on Overlord, what better way than doing a video on the 7 Floor Guardians of the Great Tomb of Nazarick? Like my other videos, here's a spoiler warning for the anime and light novel. As always, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the future. So who and what are the 7 Floor Guardians? Well, they are like stage bosses that manage the defensive system of their respective floors within the Great Tomb of Nazarick. They have the highest authority among the other NPCs within Nazarick, and most of them are level 100 custom NPCs. They were created with the sole purpose of defending Nazarick, but when they were transported to the new world, they gained sentience and took the personality traits and character settings of their creators. Their roles also changed when they came to the new world, and now they only work to serve their master Momoga, the guildmaster and only remaining member of Ainz Ooal Gown. Members of the 7 Floor Guardians include Albedo, the overseer of the Floor Guardians, Shalltear Bloodfallen, Demiurge, Cocytus, Aura Bellafiora, Mare Bellofiore, Victim, and finally Gargantua. So let's start with Albedo. She was created by Tabula Smaragdina, and because her creator enjoyed contradictory personalities, she was designed to be a perfect beauty on the outside but a total bitch on the inside. However, Ainz had changed that setting before they were transported to the new world, and now she's madly in love with him. But besides that, as the overseer of the Floor Guardians, Albedo was also programmed to be extremely intelligent, being considered the top 3 smartest NPCs in Nazarick. And in the new world, she handled the administration and internal affairs of Nazarick. When Ainz formed the Sorcerer Kingdom, Albedo became the Prime Minister and handled the diplomatic affairs as well. She was also given a room on the 9th floor by Ainz when they came to the new world because Tabula never gave Albedo her own room. As for her skills and abilities, she has the highest defensive power among all the NPCs on Nazarick, and her defensive capabilities can be further increased by equipping her Hermes Trismegistus, which is a divine class armor. Also, sorry if I butchered that pronunciation, and I have a feeling that it's going to happen a lot in this video, so just a heads up. Anyways, this armor specializes solely in physical defense and is designed to complement her special skill that transfers any damage she receives onto the armor. But she doesn't just excel in defense and has high physical capabilities as well, like the time she tried to rape Ainz, and it took the combined efforts of Mare and several 8-edged assassins to subdue her. Albedo is also in possession of the world item Ginnungagap given to her by Tabula and is used to destroy large areas and armies. However, Ainz forbids her from using it outside of Nazarick, so Albedo is currently using 3F, a giant halberd, as a weapon instead. Weapons aside, Albedo also has a level 100 Bicon named Top of the World, but sadly she is unable to ride it because she is still a pure maiden despite being a succubus. Speaking of succubus, she likely possesses skills that allow her to use mind control abilities and perform charm magic on people. On a side note, she is said to be very skilled at doing housekeeping work like cleaning or sewing, as evident by her ever-increasing collection of Momoga body pillows and plushies. Next is the true vampire Shalltear Bloodfallen, the Floor Guardian of floors 1 to 3, and she currently resides in the Adiposia chamber, which is located on the 2nd floor. She was created by Pero Roncino, and she was basically programmed to be an extension of the sexual desires and fetishes of her creator. In the new world, she is in love with Ainz as well, so she constantly competed with Albedo for his affections, and she also has a sibling rivalry with Aura because both their creators were siblings in real life. In the anime, Shalltear betrayed Ainz after she fell under the control of her world item, but luckily she was defeated and resurrected. She was later punished by Ainz and became the famous Shellchair, and we can see just how sexual she was programmed to be. Anyways, when the Sorcerer Kingdom was formed, she was placed in charge of their transportation network and also the surveillance on Nazarick. Despite being on the top floors, Shalltear is actually considered to be the strongest Floor Guardian with the highest overall stats if we exclude Gargantua, more on why later, and she has the most combat experience as well. And when it comes to single combat, Shalltear is the strongest mainly because of her skill set and equipment. She possesses the passive skill Blood Frenzy and it can boost her strength and speed, but it does come at the cost of her going berserk. Then there's the trump card ability Einherjar, and this allows her to create a construct that's visually identical to her. However, this construct is unable to use magic and most of her skills, but its equipment and stats are the same. As for Shalltear's equipment, her main weapon is the Spout Lance, a weapon that allows her to lifesteal by attacking targets. In the new world, she paired this effect with her Summon Household skill to heal because Friendly Fire is no longer active. Then we have her Crimson Armor, a legendary class armor that she used when she fought against Ainz. Additionally, Shalltear is also quite strong against magic casters, especially necromancers, because of the life-stealing ability I mentioned just now, and her weapon is more effective against undeads. Another reason is that she is able to use divine magic despite being an undead herself. Also, it's noteworthy to mention that after her betrayal, Ainz gave her an unknown world item so that she can protect herself from the effects of other world items in the future. Moving on, the guardian of the 7th floor is Demiurge, and he was created by Albert Alain Uder. The 7th floor was actually designed by Albert to suit the needs of Demiurge, and the Blazing Temple is his residence. When they were transported to the New World, Demiurge became responsible for the defense and military administration network of Nazarick, but later he also handled the establishment and management of the intelligence agency of the Sorcerer Kingdom. He also had a ranch where he performed experiments on captured humans and demi-humans, which he deemed as Abelion ship. That's why Demiurge is often considered the most wicked and sadistic member in Nazarick, but he is kind towards the denizens of Nazarick, and he even enjoys doing some carpentry, although most of his works are made from the victims he tortured and killed. For his skills and abilities, Demiurge is a jack-of-all-trades type of NPC, excelling in multiple areas, but he is weak when compared to true specialists like Mare, a pure magic caster, or physical fighters like Albedo or Cocytus. However, his true strength is his intelligence and strategic thinking, being on par with Albedo and Pandora Sector. He is also quite adept at subjects involving military, domestic, or even foreign affairs, but he is especially good at scheming. For example, he was responsible for overthrowing and subjugating numerous neighboring nations like the Riastus Kingdom, the Abelion Hills, and the Rober Holy Kingdom by manipulating events from behind the scenes. That said, when it came to combat, Demiurge relies on a series of special skills called Aspect of the Devil that all have their own specific effects. We have skills like Razor Sharp Claw. This causes his claws to become elongated blades. Then there's also Tentacle Wings, which allows him to sprout wings and fire strong worm-like arrows, and another one is Hellfire Mantle. This creates flames blazing from the ground, and it will cause a massive shockwave to erupt from his body. His command mantra is also a notable skill which grants him the ability to empower his words, and he can forcefully take control and command any weak-minded individuals or beings that are under level 40. As for equipment, he has an item called Armageddon Evil given to him by Albert, and it can be used to summon an army of demons. Additionally, he was given a world item by Ainz, and it was stated to be either the Billion Blades or Hygia's Chalice. Cocytus is the next floor guardian and he is responsible for the defense of the 5th floor. His residence is called the Snowball Earth, and it was designed with the idea of allowing him to fight and train inside. His creator was warrior Takemikazuchi, and just like his creator, Cocytus is a prideful warrior that respects the fighting spirit of his opponents regardless if they are strong or weak. And in the New World, he's one of the few NPCs that are open towards outsiders, as was the case when he asked Ainz to spare the Lizardman village. That's why besides guarding the 5th floor, he was also given the task of managing the Lizardman village, and later when the Sorcerer Kingdom was formed, he became responsible for commanding, managing, and training their army. Aside from that, Cocytus is also the weapon master and was programmed with knowledge about the divine weapons of all the supreme beings. He's also considered the strongest weapon user in Nazarick because of his proficiency with various types of weapons. In the anime, we have only seen 2 of his 21 weapons. One of them is called Decapitation Fang, a halberd type weapon, and is actually his favorite weapon of choice. Then we have the God-slaying Emperor Blade, and this used to belong to his creator, but it was gifted to him when his creator retired from Yggdrasil. This blade has the highest cutting power out of all his weapons, and he only unsheathes the blade for opponents he has the greatest respect for. And just like Demiurge, Ainz gave a world item to Cocytus, and it is either the Hygia's Chalice or Billion Blades. Now, Cocytus doesn't only have powerful weapons, but his exoskeleton also serves as his armor. His exoskeleton is resistant against fire, and unlike conventional armor, damages done to his exoskeleton is repaired when his HP is restored. However, the only weakness is that when compared to player equipment that is on the same level as his exoskeleton, it will greatly lose out. Additionally, because he has the Knight of Niflheim class, Cocytus has a high resistance towards the ice element, and he's even able to use ice attacks like Frost Breath, Ice Pillar, or Piercing Icicle. It also gave him a passive known as Frost Aura, which makes his surroundings extremely cold, dealing continuous ice damage and negative conditions to those in his vicinity. Continuing on, we have the floor guardians of the 6th floor, the Dark Elf twins Aura Bella Fiora and Mare Bella Fiore, and this is the only floor with 2 guardians. The residence of the twins is called the Gigantic Tree, located on the 6th floor. Both of them were created by Buku Buku Chagama, and because she's a big sister in real life, Aura was created to reflect her own personality as a sister, while Mare was created with the belief that younger brothers should obey their sisters. Also, Aura was programmed to enjoy teasing and arguing with Xiaotia, simply because she's a creation of Buku Buku Chagama's brother Pero Ronchino. When they were transported to the New World, Aura and Mare were given new jobs to handle. Aura was tasked with managing a department that deploys a warning system across all the territories of the Sorcerer Kingdom, while Mare is responsible for maintaining the weather for their territories, using his magic to build an underground dungeon on the outskirts of Irantal and working with the Adventurers Guild. So for the skills and abilities, we'll start with Aura first. Aura has the Beast Tamer class, which gives her a passive that allows her to give buffs or debuffs to a magical beast. Additionally, she has a passive that makes the breath she exhales capable of affecting or controlling the emotions of others. Aside from that, Aura is able to easily tame and command any beast, even ones found in the New World. In the anime, we have seen two of her magical beasts. One is called Fenrir or Fan, a level 78 holy beast, and Itzama or nicknamed Kradacel, a giant 6-legged chameleon iguana hybrid. Aura also has high physical abilities thanks to a ranger class, allowing her to run at high speeds, perform acrobatic maneuvers, and be very good at stealth. She has high detection abilities as well, being able to easily pinpoint camouflage or invisible opponents. However, she has a hard time detecting perfect unknowable users, but she can still faintly sense them. As for equipment, she has two weapons, her whip which is called Queen, and a bow that is called To Your Heart. Then she has given two new items from Ainz, Buku Buku Chagama's watch, and lastly, Depiction of Nature and Society, a world item that can isolate an object to a different dimension. As for Mare, he is a druid class, meaning he is able to cast powerful buffs on allies and debuffs on enemies. He also excels in harnessing the power of nature, like controlling the weather or causing powerful natural disasters. Mare also possesses great knowledge and skills regarding herbs and plants. He is actually a top contender for the strongest floor guardian, and like Xiaotier, he has the highest overall stats, but unlike her, he is a magic caster optimized to deal with multiple enemies rather than individual enemies. He is also said to possess the strongest AoE spell in Nazarick. Now, although Mare is a spellcaster, he actually has high physical capabilities as well, like when he was able to easily crush the skull of Igwash using his staff. Now, equipment-wise, Mare has a staff which is called Shadow of Yggdrasil, and it is classified as a divine class item. He uses the staff to channel and focus his druid magic, but he can also use it as a physical weapon. Then he was also gifted the Ring of Ainz Oogan for his hard work, and it allows him to freely teleport anywhere within Nazarick except for a few specific areas. Lastly, Mare was also given the world item Avarice and Generosity to protect himself, and this item has the ability to absorb and store experience points for later use. Then we have Victim, a level 35 NPC and the only floor guardian that isn't a level 100 NPC. It resides on the 8th floor where the most powerful NPCs reside, and its residence is called Sephiroth. Victim communicates using Enochian, a constructed language said to have originated from the angels, but Ainz and the other NPCs can still understand what it is trying to express through some kind of integrated translating magic. Victim is also part of the angel race, meaning it has the ability to fly and use divine powers. However, its own combat strength is very low because its main role is to become a living sacrifice. When Victim dies, it is able to activate a powerful ability, and it is said that Victim was essential in defeating the union of 8 guilds that attacked Nazarick a long time ago. Now, it's unknown what Victim's suicide skill actually is, but it's likely something that acts as an AoE immobilization ability. Additionally, Victim is kept at a low level because it's more efficient to resurrect low-level NPCs. Lastly, we have Gargantua, and it's the only non-custom NPC floor guardian because it's a bonus won by the guild of Ainz Oogan. It's classified as a strategic siege golem, and it does not possess any intelligence or will of its own, and will only act after it's given a command from Ainz. After acquiring Gargantua, it was put on the 4th floor underground lake, and it normally just stays at the bottom of the lake until it is needed. But it did make an appearance in season 2 of the anime when it was deployed to the Lizardman village to intimidate them. Now, if we compare the stats, Gargantua actually has the highest stats among all the other floor guardians and can be considered the strongest, but like I said, it lacked intelligence and needed orders just to do anything, so we can basically disqualify Gargantua just based on this alone. Also, because Gargantua doesn't have a mind of its own, the other NPCs on the 4th floor will simply report to Ainz instead.
かしこまりました。アイン様。
So yeah, this has been my explanation on the 7 floor guardians of the Great Tomb of Nazarick, and this was only just a brief overview on each one of them, but if you want a more in-depth breakdown like my Tensura series, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know which one of the floor guardians are your favorite and if you want more Overlord content. If you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a like or subscribe to the channel if you feel like it. As always, thanks for watching and stay safe everyone.